Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ba'da a'udhu billahi min ash-shaytani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We have challenges that we are facing right now, all of us. Um, these are not new challenges. The challenge, and we've talked about these things before, but again, inna dhikra tanfa'ul mu'min. That the reminder is beneficial for the believer. If I make the statement and I say that we have to live according to the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have to follow the Qur'an and the pattern of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Mashallah, alhamdulillah, all of you would agree because you're Muslim. And if I were to say to you that we have to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam the way that his Sahaba followed him, and alhamdulillah, all of you would agree because you're a Muslim. But now when you start getting into the particulars and what those statements demand from us and what it requires, the responsibility that comes along with the comprehension of the concept, just understanding the concept, what comes along with that. This is where things get a little bit dicey, because reality, the reality of our own, the mundane aspects of our own personal lives and our own specific challenges, these come to the forefront. This is what's on our plate in front of us. I have a job, I have family, I have financial, responsibilities. I may have health issues. I have this thing going on, say for instance, with my parents or what have you. Work is picked up. I have this going on. I got that going on. And each and every one of us, even though there's some commonality that exists there, right, as regarding the subject matter, but specifically each one of our lives is, of course, very different. The thing about it is that this preoccupation with our own personal lives and our own private lives, and the way that we are prioritizing what is going on in our lives, it is what is holding us back. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if you help Allah, Allah will help you. We hear certain terms used on a regular basis, one of those being tawakkal ala Allah, having a trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And mashallah, we have the warm and fuzzy programs, that kind of like approach tawakkul more as kind of a soft remedy for stress and distress, depression, and worry and anxiety. But actually tawakkul ala Allah, and that is, that's not to say that that's wrong, but that is, again, you're talking about ground floor. Tawakkul ala Allah, it is something that it is a necessity. It is something that is demanded. Meaning, if you don't have this, you can't progress in your deen. Period. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. If you do not have this, if this conceptually, if this concept is not being taken and applied, and it is not being refined, and a Muslim is not maturing in their understanding and experiential understanding of tawakkul ala Allah, you can't progress, period. And what does that mean? Again, it is experiential, but again, for the sake of just entering into the discussion of understanding and giving a healthy encouragement, inshallah, to move us forward. What does it mean? It means that we are going to have to make effort and sacrifice. There are certain things that it's going to seem counterintuitive, because right now, when I don't have trust in Allah, it means I have trust in creation. And usually the first creation that I have trust in is myself. My own intellect, my own ability, my own decision-making processes, my own perception, the way that I do things. And that is the first barrier. It is the first problem, because my intuition tells me that I need to do this and I need to do that, or otherwise it's not going to get done. And this understanding of where that responsibility lies, and now at what point is enough, and how do I develop this tawakkul ala Allah, and what does having trust in Allah actually mean? And when you're saying making effort and sacrifice for the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what does that mean? What does it look like? What form does it take? And even if we talk about that and we explain it from within a historical context, looking at the lives of the Sahaba and those who have come generationally, generation after generation after generation, what would it look like in my life? And that really, you can't be, because of those specifics that we were talking about before, there's no way that you're going to be able to, like, for somebody like myself to sit here and say, no, for in your life it's going to look like this, meaning that you have to give certain generalities, and with those generalities, now once you apply those, how it's going to look in your life and your specific intimate relationship with your creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will start to take shape and it will start to take its own form. And that's why you are special. And that's the reason why your relationship with Allah is special. Now, if you look at what we've been doing with the Qur'an, with mashallah, also the way that brothers are encouraging one another, and then also whenever there is a financial need that arises. So and alhamdulillah, it's a healthy list now. There's no one thing that you point at. We've done everything from slaughtering animals and distributing meat to collecting money for masajid and families in need for during the coronavirus pandemic. Individual brothers who have had needs, even if it wasn't financial, but rather was emotional. We have been doing all of those things, and that support system is absolutely necessary. You'll find it with the Sahaba. You find it with the way that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam approached each and every one of them. And now, because most of you've come across these hadith where they would ask Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for example, which amal ayul amal afdal, right? So which one is the best? And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would give different answers. And somebody who doesn't understand how to, like, put that everything in its proper place, they're like, hold on, how come Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is giving different answers? Because of who's asking the question. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because of who he is and that role that he's playing as the ultimate sheikh, so to speak, right? And receiving wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and being rahmatun lil alameen, that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is addressing each individual based on his or her given specific situation. But that support system is there amongst the Sahaba for each other. But each one of them was different. Each one of them was special. And we love that. Abu Bakr was Abu Bakr. Umar was Umar. Ibn Abbas, and Ibn Umar is Ibn Umar, right? Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqas, Abu Dhar al-Ghifari, mashallah, Salman al-Farsi. The list is Hudhayfa, Hanzala, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in. The list just goes on and on and on. Uthman and Ali, and subhanallah. It's but each one of them was different. So each one of us is different. So how is it going to look in your life? Yes, there's commonalities, and those are the things that we address, like in a classroom setting. That's what we're doing with the Ghazali program. But there are things that are going to be specific just for you as you look at your life. So as I look at my life, and now understanding, yes, part of my deen is I have to fulfill obligations. I have to make sure that I fulfill huquq al-ibad, right? The rights of creation, the rights of the ibad of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But at the same time, because of nafs and because of our own priorities and agenda, sometimes those things get confused. Because now, how much time am I spending being preoccupied by my work? Which, by the way, just kind of like as a footnote, that is done intentionally. If you look in a lot of countries that mashallah, if you want to call them productive industrial nations, or they have very strong economies or workforce. If you look at a lot of them, they do not work out in terms of time-wise, hours. They do not work as much as we do, and yet they are more productive. Part of keeping people in the workplace for these, regardless of the level of efficacy, regardless of the level of productivity, is there is a social reason behind that. That is part of the social engineering agenda, right? It is part of the manipulation. Keep you engaged in the machine. And even though, what it's yielding, so the amount that you're putting in, it's not yielding what it could possibly, the potential could be, right, with that amount of time. But again, so please remember that they want you preoccupied. They want you busy with work all the time. And when you are not busy with work, they want you enjoying yourself, getting lost in your own desires. And they want you, more importantly, they want you spending money. That's it. That's all you and I are being seen as, is you work and you spend. That's your job. Work and spend. And everything around us now, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, is we are being bombarded with our own, with this desire and that desire, keeping up with the Joneses, social status based on your level of education, how much money you make, what you do for a living, as if just for instance, so just because this person is working in corporate America and this brother may be a garbage man, so this person is, we're supposed to believe that the person working in corporate America is now better than the garbage man. In Islam, that has absolutely, it doesn't have any bearing whatsoever. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Right? The noblest, the best amongst you are the ones who have the most taqwa. It is based on taqwa. Now, the thing about it is that because we are living, the religion here is capitalism. Work and spend. Work and spend. Work and spend. What motivates us to do that? Your desires, your hopes, your dreams, your ambitions. And because of that, you must work and spend. Work and spend. Islam tells us that you have to do the same thing for your akhirah. You have to work and spend. Same thing. If you look at the Sahaba, if you look at the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were doing what? Work and spend. The only thing is, can't serve two masters. Can't serve two masters. We have one heart, and that one heart has to serve one Rabb. So we are either serving the Rabb, which is Al-Khaliq, the creator, or we are serving creation, and we are serving our own desires. So we are going to work and we are going to spend. The question is, why? How and on what? If we are engrossed and preoccupied with working and spending for this dunya, then we are at loss. If we are working and spending for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this is fawzan azima. This is the mightiest, majestic, amazing, and the true success. Now, there has to be a transition going from here to here, because this notion that it's going to just happen overnight, like, conceptually, that makes sense. I'm on it, right? I got that taken care of. I hit the switch internally, and now it's done. There is a process, a shifting, a paradigm shift has to take place. So you and I, just like the Sahaba, we have to go through this process of now shifting, where our work and our sacrifice, our working and our spending now shifts from this dunya and our own desires, right? Our own priorities and our own objectives, hopes and dreams, which are strictly related to this dunya, and now shifting that focus to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and our akhirah, with the thinking now, instead of nafsi, nafsi, instead of just me, it's now ummah, ummah, ummah. So part of this, if you see that when we come together at any one time, right? How many people do we have right now? 7. I think last week we met on Wednesday. Adi, I think you were there also. I think Yasser, I know you were there. Again, we hit the number about 7. Now, legitimately, some brothers are working, and you know they're caught up and they're tied up right now, right? But again, we can't make like you and I can't make a judgment about anybody else's life. We can't look at it like, how come this brother isn't there? This brother doesn't do this brother doesn't do that. That's not for us to do, because we've got too much work to do on our own selves to even allow ourselves to become distracted with what brother A and brother B are doing or not doing. But as a group, as a cohesive unit, that has to be a general concern for all of us. That how do we now, instead of being judgmental, how do you and I, and as a group, how do we come together? How do we gel into a cohesive unit where now that you, each and every one of us, that I know my situation, you know your situation, okay? You know the specifics, I don't. But how do we come together, each and every one of us, understanding this fundamental aspect of what it's going to take in order for us to be successful and for us to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we are going to have to be humble, we're going to have to make effort, we're going to have to make sacrifice, we are going to have to work, and we're going to have to spend. And right now, the vast majority of our time is about working and spending in relation to this dunya. And for some of us, I do realize that our previous lifestyles were such, the notion of just being legitimate and being responsible enough to go to work and to hold down a job and to be responsible to take care of a family, because some of us, we come from backgrounds where that's not something that is normal for us. That is not something that is that we grew up with. And even in the environment itself, it wasn't something that was part of the normative. It wasn't something that was usual, or something that we encountered on a regular basis. We were dealing with situations where drugs were involved, alcohol was involved, court cases were involved, incarceration was involved, bad health and early deaths were involved, dealing with the judicial system and all, subhanAllah. There was just so much. The idea of just being able to hold down a job, pay your rent, pay your bills, get married, take care of your kids, and be a family, that in and of itself is seeming like, you know, subhanAllah, I'm doing what 99.99% of this previous environment, what is just not normal. So being able to do that is considered to be a huge achievement, and it is. The problem is that we were starting out in the red, and now we just kind of like got to ground level, and we're thinking like, okay, you know, I got to 0. Granted, we started out with negative whatever, and now we get to 0 and we feel like, okay, I accomplished something. When actually the only thing we did is like, now our feet are firmly placed on the starting line. It's a beginning. It's not the end, it's the beginning. Because now we're in a position to do what? Work and spend for the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is not, this can't be something that is, this is something that was, oh, Allahu Akbar, hammered into me from so many different directions, by so many different teachers, and the consistency of it, regardless, no matter whether the teacher was Arab, or whether the teacher was from India or Pakistan, or whether the teacher was Indonesian, or the teacher was Turkish, or no matter where the teacher was from, there was this beautiful consistency and the priorities of a Muslim and what is required from a Muslim, and they hammered into you. And now I'm with my own weak ability, and I do recognize my own deficiencies, I am trying to at least not do the same for you, but at least share that message with you, that this is what is going to be required from us. This is what is demanded from us by our deen. This is the responsibility that you and I have firmly placed across our shoulders, just by the simple fact that we recite this Khatm No, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. So my request is that alhamdulillah, we keep moving forward, we keep doing what we're doing, and slowly progressing. MashaAllah, just even in the past like year or two, I think brothers have made amazing leaps and bounds, MashaAllah, in so many different areas, and so many different, whether it's, you know, completing classes, the financial sacrifice, MashaAllah, the feedings that we have been doing, MashaAllah, during Ramadan and everything. Hopefully this week we'll be able to pick that back up again. We've been doing, may Allah continue to give us the tawfiq and give us this istiqamah. We've been able to accomplish a lot in a very short period of time. And alhamdulillah. But again, we can't rest on our laurels. We can't get to the point where we become complacent, because the point is that each and every one of us, we have to change. That paradigm shift has to take place, where now the work and the spending is shifted now towards the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is shifted more towards now coming in line with what is going to bring us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for that, you and I, we have to encourage each other. That's all there is to it. That's what brotherhood, this akhuwah, that's what it means. That you and I, we have to be there for one another. We have to encourage one another. If somebody is, for instance, we had a couple of brothers that, mashallah, they were preoccupied and needed some assistance and a reminder or even a check-in to wrap this Qur'an up, to get this Khatm finished, mashallah. And that's what we're supposed to be doing for one another. In the past, and this is not a new thing, so even before we were doing stuff on the internet and everything, if a brother like fell out of sight for a little while, like everybody would be asking, like, where's brother so-and-so? How's brother so-and-so? Mashallah, there's been times where brothers was like, look, bro, we're about to come knock on your door. We was, right? Brothers about to show up at my house with like battering rams and whatnot. I remember like taking trips up to Milwaukee, like to go hunt a brother down and find out if he was all right, you know. But that's what we have to, that's the level that we have to be there for one another. That's the part of this concept of akhuwah, brotherhood, and the notion of being an ummah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to continue to grow, become more refined and mature in our Islam, our understanding and practice of Islam. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring us all collectively closer to Him. Before we begin the dua, inshallah, and wrap this up, is there any questions, worries, problems, concerns from anybody? Please feel free, even if you have something that you want to say, if you would like to make a little statement, no problem, inshallah. We all have a voice. Yes, no, maybe?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
I just wanted to say Jazakallah khair for the giving us an opportunity to do this collective Khatm of Qur'an. It actually was a nice little jump start, you know, because I kind of got a little rusty. So it really helped me. And once again, Jazakallah khair.
Alhamdulillah, and it did the same thing for me. I also have the same, you know, no matter, even with deen, no matter how busy you get, you still have to find time for Qur'an. Uthman radiallahu anh, when he became the Khalifa, his normal habit was to finish a Qur'an every three nights. So every 3 nights he would finish one Qur'an. He would do a Khatm No Qur'an. When he became Khalifa, Amir al-Mu'mineen, he was so busy with all the worries and the responsibilities of being the Khalifa that even then he didn't have time to read Qur'an, but he would always stop and he would get the Mus'haf and he would open it, right? And then he would close it and he would put it back. So even that level of reminder that, you know what, I'm not going to go a day, at least, like if I can't read, I'm at least going to, the bare minimum is I'm not going to neglect it. If all I can do is just take it down and open it up and then shut it and put it back, so that reminder is always there, that this is like, this has to be a part of me. This is because of that, right? That's absolutely essential. And if you look, Uthman radiallahu anh, when he knew that he was getting ready to be assassinated, how did he choose to go out? This is the beautiful, amazing, like he knows, like they're coming. They're coming. And people are offering protection. Ali radiallahu anh and he's saying, no, I don't want Muslims fighting over me. They're coming. And he knows that they're getting ready to come and assassinate him. And how does he want to go out? He wants to go out reading the kitab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reading the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, and we still have his mushaf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused his mushaf with his blood on it to be preserved to this day. And that is the example that has been set in front of us as far as what is demanded and what is required from us as far as our relationship with the kitab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yani and the Qur'an. So we all need that reminder, myself included. MashaAllah. May Allah Ta'ala make us people of the Qur'an. Is there anything else?
Yeah, Khalid, go ahead, brother.
Oh no, I was gonna say, are we gonna do another round? Sorry, I missed that.
You mean another khatam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Most definitely, inshallah. And again, this one took, I think, 2 weeks. So fine, whatever. It took us 2 weeks. But if we didn't do it, we wouldn't have, it would have been 2 weeks and we wouldn't have anything done. So fine, mashallah. And may Allah Ta'ala make it easy, and maybe this one will get done in a week. Maybe it'll take 2 weeks. SubhanAllah, it might take longer. Maybe it takes 3 weeks. Allah knows best. Maybe we get to the point where now, instead of just trying to finish one Quran, collectively, we're all getting involved, and mashallah, we finished multiple Qurans in a week. Inshallah, those brothers who are, because we do have there is a significant number of brothers who can't read Arabic yet. So maybe this acts as an impetus and a catalyst to encourage those brothers, because they want to participate, they don't want to be left out, to engage in the learning process and learn how to read Quran. So there's a lot of benefits to be had to what we're doing. So yes, brother, most definitely, inshallah, if Allah Ta'ala gives us tawfiq, but that is the definite intention, that we have to keep moving forward with this, inshallah. Fahim Bhai, I think you also were...
Brother Ali read my mind, so he asked the exact question which I wanted, so he beat me to it.
But Brother Fahim wanted to ask how soon we're gonna start after this question.
I heard about okay, somebody's speaking on my behalf, so I just gotta keep quiet, I guess.
Well, Imad took, because I think we need to shift the responsibilities also. So Imad, mashallah, was steering the ship this last khatam. So we need to find out who's ready to take the reins for this one, inshallah. As soon as, so if one of you, right now, you want to take that responsibility.
I got you, Sheikh. I got it.
You got it? Okay. Okay. So as soon as, Ali, mashallah, he's in the driver's seat. As soon as he puts it up, mashallah, I am ready. And what I do request, though, is that brothers, okay. I hope this is clear. I'm going to try to explain it. So that the other group that I was telling you about, so what they're doing is, because you and I, we're trying to finish our own personal Qurans too. Fahim Bhai, he was asking about this when we first started this one. Okay. So what they're doing is as they're moving through these Qur'ans, so like say for instance, with this one, I think I did 1 and 2, for instance, right? So this next one, I should try to do, for example, 3 and 4, or maybe 3, 4, and 5. And then each time we're doing a khatam, I make sure that I do something different than I did the previous times. So that collectively, as time passes, I'm actually finishing my own Quran too, and I'm fulfilling that haqq of the Quran itself. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay. So so we should be trying to, so there's the one that, for instance, that Ali's going to put up, similar to the one that Imad put up, and we're trying to complete that. But we, each and every one of us, should have our own personal one, right? Where it's like, okay, that first khatam that we did, I did, Jews, the first Jews and the second Jews. And then it doesn't have to be in order necessarily. So this time, say for instance, I have 25, 26, and 27. So, and then I should have my own and make sure and try to fill in those ajza, so that inshallah collectively it adds up to, okay, now by myself, while we were doing this, I managed to finish one whole Quran. I read one whole Quran. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And alhamdulillah. So when Ali puts it up, inshallah, everybody try to take something different than what you took last time. And because brothers are going to be watching this later on also, please make sure that you're taking on a responsibility that is easy for you, because there are brothers that, mashallah, take what you can digest, right? So take what you are capable of doing. Again, we're going to keep on doing this. So like I said, if we get to the point where now, mashallah, that we're finishing not just 1, but 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or what have you, in 1 week, that's beautiful. But let's see if we can take what we can easily manage individually, and let's see if we can set this goal of trying to be done by this time next week, inshallah. Khair?
Inshallah.
And I'm going to do the dua this time. And but I think the dua it should be something that is shared as well. Again, I'm just yes, Allah Ta'ala has blessed me with certain things, but we're all part of the group, and each and every one of us is special in his own way, and has his own private connection with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And I think it's I don't see any reason why one of you can't make dua as well. Okay. So inshallah, I will do this one, and then I think that should also go through the rotation. That say, for instance, mashallah, and we can do it so that the person who took the reins, you have the dua next. So Imad, inshallah, you have the next dua, and then the one after that, Ali, that will be yours, inshallah. That makes sense?
Inshallah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد عبدك وحبيبك ورسولك النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم اغفر لنا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به. واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا. أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم لا عيش إلا عيش الآخرة. اللهم إنا نسألك حسن الخاتمة. اللهم بارك لنا في الموت وفيما بعد الموت. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. يا مثبت القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. يا مصرف القلوب صرف قلوبنا على طاعتك. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الهم والحزن والجبن والبخل والكسل والهرم والضال الدين وغلبة الرجال. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم لا عيش إلا عيش الآخرة. اللهم إنا نسألك حسن الخاتمة. ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وثبت قدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. يا فاطر السماوات والأرض يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا رب العرش الكريم. يا ربي. Ya Allah, have mercy on us and forgive us. Ya Allah, please guide us and use us as a means of hidayat for the whole of the humanity. Ya Allah, we ask you that you protect us and save us from ourselves, from our own desires, from our own egos, from the whisper of shaitan, the influence of shaitan. Ya Allah, the evil that is inside of us as well as the evil that is outside of us. Ya Allah, we have no one else to turn to except for you. Ya Allah, you are the one who answers du'as. We have no one else to answer our du'as. You're the only one we have to plead with. We have no one else to plead with. We have no one else to turn to. We are in dire need of your help, of your forgiveness, of your rahmah and your divine favor, your fadl, ya dhan fadlil azim. Ya Allah, we ask you that you protect our families, Ya Allah, that you guide our families, Ya Allah, that you bring ease and comfort to their hearts and their minds, Ya Allah, that you cure them of any spiritual ailments that they may have, any physical ailments that they may have, any psychological or emotional ailments they may have, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, bring ease to our families, Ya Allah. Join our hearts together as the Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and accept us, Ya Allah, to become people of the Qur'an. Ya Allah, grant us this tremendous and precious gift of istiqamah. Ya Allah, make us consistent in walking in the footsteps of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, consistent in the pattern of his Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'een. Ya Allah, accept us to do the khidmah of deen, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, in every generation you have chosen the select few to do the khidmah of the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, we're begging you that you accept us, Ya Allah, that you use us, Ya Allah, that our blood, our sweat, and our tears, our effort and our sacrifice, our life and death should be only for you, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, it is only your special gift and your special favor, Ya Allah. It is only by your rahmah that any of us enter Jannah. Ya Allah, our deeds are nothing. You are the one who gives our deeds value. Ya Allah, Our efforts are nothing, Ya Allah. Our efforts are only because of your rahmah. Ya Allah, everything that we have, everything that we've ever had, and everything that we will ever have is only because of you, Ya Rabbil Alameen. We're begging you, Allah, to give us the tawfiq to show our gratitude and to express our gratitude through following your Qur'an and the deen and the sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, let our lives be an expression of gratitude and an expression of patience, Ya Allah. That whatever you have put in front of us, Ya Allah, give us the tawfiq, give us the strength and the courage and the backbone to face it as Muslims, to face it as your ibad, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, let us not waver and let us not become complacent, Ya Allah. Let us not ever compromise our deen for the sake of this dunya. Ya Allah, do not let us sacrifice our akhirah for the sake of this dunya. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, open our hearts and soften our hearts, Ya Allah. Give us the tawfiq to let the tears flow as we beg for your rahmah, as we beg for your hidayah, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, you're the only one who is doing, and you're the only one who has ever done, and you're the only one who will ever do. We are in dire need of you, Ya Allah, for each and every moment, in each and every condition, in each and every breath and heartbeat of our lives, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, if you don't help us, there is no one to help us. If you don't guide us, there is no one to guide us. If you don't have rahmah on us, Ya Allah, then we have no hope. We have placed everything that we have, everything that we are, and everything that we will be in front of you, Allah, Ya Allah, in humble obeisance and servitude to you, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Ya Allah, accept us, Ya Allah, even though we are undeserving. We have done nothing to earn this kalima that you have blessed us with. This kalima, la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And you are the one who has given it to us, Ya Allah. By the fact that you have given it to us, Ya Allah, let us excel in fulfilling the rights of this kalima, la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. We ask you, Ya Allah, in the name of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as the ummatis of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's rahmatun lil alameen. Ya Allah, you are the one who is not in need of any of creation, but you, Ya Allah, in your ilm, in your knowledge, and in your wisdom, in your qadr, Ya Allah, you are the one who brought Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam into existence. You are the one who made him what he is, and you are the one who made us part of his ummah. All of this is from your fadl, ya dhan fadlil azim. Ya Allah, based on this fadl from you, Ya Allah, please accept us, Ya Allah. Accept our hearts and accept our lives. Accept everything that we have, Ya Allah, from us and from our family members and from our communities. Save us, Ya Allah, from the chaos and the madness that is becoming more and more prominent and predominant around us on a day-to-day basis. Ya Allah, our minds are under psychological trauma. We are constantly being bombarded, Ya Allah, with kufr and shirk, with munkar and fahsha. Ya Allah, protect us from the effects of all of this, Ya Allah. We have only you to help us. We beg you, Ya Allah, accept us, Ya Rabbil Alameen. اللهم لا سهل إنما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا ذا الفضل العظيم يا رب العرش العظيم. الفاتحة. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to finish more and more Qur'ans. Ya Allah, that we become like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, walking examples of the Qur'an. Ya Allah, make this Qur'an a part of our hearts, Ya Allah, that our priorities are based on this Qur'an, that our decisions are based on this Qur'an. Ya Allah, that our lives and our deaths are based on this Qur'an and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yusifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen bi rahmatika nastaghith. Jazakumullah khairan jazaa. Anything else, Ikhwan?
No, honestly, I'm ready to get started again.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. So let's do it, inshallah. Let me say that it is a very special gift and blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The group of brothers that we have, it is, MashaAllah. MashaAllah. There's so much potential that is here. If each and every one of us, if I can get over myself, if each and every one of us, if we make this effort, if I can get over myself and each and every one of us do this, the amount of potential with this group of brothers, even if you don't add anybody else, right? The amount of potential that lies within this group of brothers is enormous. It really is. It is enormous. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to be able to realize that innate, inherent potential that's in each and every one of us, inshallah. Barakallahu fiqh. They're knocking at the doors. They're coming. Assalamu alaikum.
I mean,